I watched last night. It was Billy Gunn's two kids, and then some guy that looks like he was as
There it is.
Gunter is all. I thought that was pretty fucking funny.
Incredibly brilliant.
It's the gun Billy's two kids, and then it looks like some guy that is playing some bootlegger from the 30s as their mouthpiece, and they. It's so hard for these guys to like go out and work the hard camera because there's nobody there. And yeah, his name's Jay White.
Yeah, think about this. See, now, having never been in the ring myself, now I'm thinking about this for the first time. Where my focal point is going to be, that's where they put the empty seats because they're filming in the other direction. Everybody's
Right.
behind me
So
now,
you have to,
and I'm turning to an empty arena.
you have to turn your it's and I mean that's the difference between a pro and not a pro. Like that's the difference between somebody this season.
Right.
Like so you're telling me that you would rather go out and work in front of 3,000 people and have 3,000 people see you than have 720,000 people see you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you almost have to be like, if you're the worker, it's kind of like being on a set or on a stage where you're pretending everything in front of you is not there.
And they do a job from a production standpoint where once the guy comes down, and Jay did a good job of, he just, it's almost like he kind of pulled the two gun kids like to where they were at the ropes and they were looking at the hard camera. But it's just, they kind of said some things that got a reaction. And then when you get a reaction, it's really, really hard.
I know.
You know, not to fucking turn. But see, this is the shot they do. So this is the close-up shot they do, which allows them to kind of half-ass split the difference. And Jay's got people over his left shoulder, and he's got nobody fucking in front of him. To his right shoulder, there's not a fucking soul.
Right.
So, and a lot of times, like at TNA, the way it was set up, there was still maybe 8 rows of people on the hard camera side. So you've got to have somebody to work with. Somebody to make eye contact with, because it comes across very like Stepford Wives if you just go right at that hard camera,
Mm-hmm.
So
Are you playing to the audience as much as you're playing to the camera, Kevin, on a televised wrestling event?
I don't know about anybody else. I'm working the camera, but I'm never saying. And we would do it a little bit because the NWO was kind of a thing we did where we would actually come down, but Hulk would do it. So you had to, if you didn't do it, then you would end up walking by Hulk. So you had to stop. And I don't like anybody that talks to the handheld. Like if a handheld camera's backing up, I hate when somebody says, "I'm coming to get you." I mean, that takes away your whole entrance of coming down. See, they're hanging on the rope there. Jay pulled, it was hard, but Jay pulled them all there. So, kudos to that.
Mm-hmm. I want to go back to something you said. You're talking about, so when you say talk to the hard cam, you mean like during the match, if they turn, or you mean coming down the ramp?
Any time. Like the camera's not there unless you are cutting the promo. And I liked it at the WWE. they towards the end of my career would actually have the handheld guy get in the ring. So he would shoot you so you could be in the middle of the ring, but he could come in and shoot you. It was
during a promo,
just
right.
more. But once the working the people, man, that's house show shit.
Right.
I mean, that's what Billy's kids do a good job of getting heat. I know both of them. I like both of them. I've watched them grow up. Billy's a friend of mine, but they get heat with me. They're just natural fucking heat getters. Where Billy's the exact opposite. You couldn't fucking dislike Billy Gunn if you fucking wanted
he's
to.
so fucking funny too.
He's always got a smile on his face.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, the world's fucking largest, stiffest fucking handshake.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to stay on the camera thing for a minute because this is interesting to me. So you're aware when you're on first and foremost camera, right? Because this is a TV medium. It's a TV show.
But at the same time, I've got to watch the product back at some point and realize, the WWE, I don't know how many cameras they have now, but I'm catching a lot of the AEW guys smacking. Like doing a kick and smacking their leg to make
the sound. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of that where the WWE, you don't see people missing punches because they do a really good job of switching the cameras. So from a production, I just don't think that AEW has the same amount of cameras that WWE. And then if it's the same situation, which I know it is, because they use the TNT crews, you got a guy on handheld that was shooting a NASCAR race on Sunday, and he's shooting wrestling on Wednesday. I mean, they're skilled as fuck and they're versatile as fuck, but you've got television cameramen shooting wrestling, whereas the WWE has wrestling cameramen shooting wrestling.
Right. When you guys would have to take the fight outside the ring, right? Maybe you're going to be beyond just ringside. I'm talking about if shit's going to happen up the ramp, off the ramp, whatever. All the production end of it, the production people get that in advance, right? Because they know they need a handheld in the audience because you guys are going to fight up the stairs or whatever.
And WWE is really good because they've got that crane. So they've always got that crane shot that they can bring that camera down, and then it's such an easier follow, and you don't get the congestion of seeing the handhelds. So it takes away that I'm watching produced wrestling kind of feel.
Mm-hmm. What about backstage schmazes like that when you're going to jump somebody?
I thought when we talked about it, Wes was in agreement, and I really thought that they did a good job, that Christian did a really good job at the end of the show, being chased down. It had a feeling of realness. He took the backdrop, which is, I mean, for Christian ain't a 12-year-old kid. Like, Christian's got some age on him. He took a pretty solid backdrop on the hood of that. I think it was a Tahoe, some kind of a big SUV, big white SUV.
Right, and we were saying for AEW.
I wonder if they're doing like we used to do at WCW, where somebthe rent a SUV and get the loss damage waiver.
Oh, and then just
I remember there was one time Doug Dillinger was the legendary security guy. He was cantankerous, but a good guy, man, heart of gold. And we used his Cadillac as Luger's Cadillac, and we wound up Big Show, Paul. We wound him up, and man, it was impressive. Paul walked up the hood of the car and just put his foot right through that window. I mean, like to the steering wheel, just and we got done with the scene and everything. Dillinger came out there. That night it started to drizzle, and Dillinger had to drive that fucking car, that Cadillac, back to the Atlanta airport and drop it off with that fucking water coming in that fucking windshield.
Oh my God.
We weren't his friends for a while.
Couldn't have it get towed or something?
I'm sure fucking Doug probably said somebody fucking threw a rock through it when it was parked or something.
Until they turned on the TV and saw the.
Well, who's that smart? One of us fucking would have brought it back. Yeah, they'd probably snagged it.